Okay. This is what I'm getting here. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. That's the feeling I'm getting here. You know, enough is enough. That's it. I'm out. I'm getting out of this. Enough. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting. I think you were definitely walking away from something. It wasn't easy. It really wasn't easy for you to do. You know, this man's coming forwards, but he's cautious, very worried. He's not happy. He doesn't look happy. And what's really standing out to me the most in this card is this man's eye. You know, he's a soldier. He's probably seen some pretty horrible things, so his eyes are wide opened. But he can't sit there dwelling on all these horrible things he's seen. He just has to keep on marching forwards. And if you look at his eye, I don't know if you can see it because it's quite far away, but he has a really big eye opened, like one of his eyes is really big and it's wide. And I think what happened to you was, I think when you were with this person who you kind of said enough is enough about, I think your eyes were suddenly open to something, suddenly open to the way this person truly was. You know, I think when you're with them, I think you might have been feeling a certain way around them. You knew that how you were feeling wasn't right. It was kind of like that. But I don't think you knew why this was. And then you had your eyes open suddenly. That's what I'm seeing. And, you know, you're feeling quite down, you know, down in the trenches almost like a soldier. And then once you opened your eyes and you saw what was happening, you know, you moved on. And yeah, you still felt down. Of course, it's not easy when you decide to do that. But I think you knew it was the right thing for you to do. And I agree. I think it is. And I think this person actually might have wanted to keep you in their life, actually. They might still want to do that. I don't know. Because I am seeing a little bit of coming back and wanting to come back and all of that. And also, if you look at this man, he's got a wall up. So you've got your guard up. So I think they have tried to do that, tried to look for an opening. Maybe you block them and they tried to kind of find, oh, maybe they're not blocked there. Maybe they're blocked on Instagram, but they're not blocked on something else. You know, they're trying to kind of find a little way in. You know, I think you just realised enough was enough. You couldn't go back. There was nothing there, no growth. You know, if you look at the mountains behind this man, they're barren. There's nothing growing on them. And yeah, you had to leave all of this behind because there was no growth there. I don't think they cared about growing with you, actually. You know, they just didn't really care about an actual relationship. Maybe that's what happened. So, you know, if that resonates, that's what I think happened. I think they wanted to just keep you around without having to commit properly, but they were still trying to come in. It was very strange, and yeah, I think you're still a bit hurt by this. Of course you would be, but you know, you're a brave person. This is a soldier. That's who you are. You're very brave, like a soldier, and. Yeah, I'm just looking at his bandage as well around his head. You know, sometimes if you dream about bandages, you know, bandages in dreams, sometimes, you know, that can mean that you feel as if you need support and you're not quite getting that support. And I think that makes sense with everything else I'm seeing here as well, because you're pushing forward, you're by yourself. You know that moving on is the best thing for you, and I think you're kind of holding everything together by yourself. You're very strong, you're brave, you're coping by yourself, and I think you thought this person was someone who might alleviate some of that for you. You know, you'd be able to share things with them if you're in a proper relationship, but it didn't work out like that. You're definitely better off. You're absolutely 100% better off. You're walking into better things as you move forward, but you know, finding out the truth can be a little bit like, you know, it's not nice. It can be a bit like tasting medicine sometimes. You know, it tastes horrible, but, you know, but it makes you well. It moves you forward. It gets you better. And I think that's what happened. And you are getting better. You're moving forward. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the next card you have, you pass the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, on a practical level, I think you realised you just needed to be by yourself for a while. Not forever, but you certainly didn't want to get back into the trenches again. And I think that's what love felt like to you after this experience. It felt like going back into war again. Oh, do I want to meet people again? Do I want to go through people that are horrible, people who are kind of, ghost me, people who do this and that. And do I really want to go through all these people to get to the right one? I really, really don't have the energy to go back into the trenches again. And I think even the prospect of being with someone felt like that at this time. It was like even having to kind of get to know people, deal with all that all over again. I really don't need that right now. I just want a break. I'm just exhausted from that. I just want to be by myself right now. And that's how you had to be at this time. And I think you had to discover yourself again. You just had to heal, and you needed to do that in your own time. And it's a good thing. You're really strong. And I think on the outside, you're extremely strong. I've seen this in your readings before. But I think these bandages that's on this man's head in the Nine of Wands, he's wearing his bandages on the outside, but I think you often wear your bandages on the inside. Nobody sees how you're actually feeling. You're very strong on the outside, very tough almost. I'm hard, I'm tough. And yeah, you are going to heal. You are going to get through this. The bandages are going to come off eventually, but they only come off when you're truly healed. So you're doing that. I think you're getting through that right now. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is I'm just looking at these two trees on the horizon. I think this is about a decision, and I think this is a decision that you really had to think about. You weren't sure. You're kind of in the middle of this, like she's right in the middle of the two trees. Because sometimes these trees on this card, it can be about the Garden of Eden, the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. And obviously there was a decision that had to be made, with the snake and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And you have to make a decision. So I'm getting this feeling that I don't think you've made this yet. I think there might be someone not around you, but someone who's trying to influence you, someone who's trying to persuade you. I think they might be a little bit arrogant, actually, and they think they have some say in this. They might even think they have the final say in this. That's how arrogant this person is. And because I'm seeing this all over the place, that you're doing so much on your own, you're battling on your own, it kind of feels as if this arrogant person, to me, it feels like they want to make all the decisions without actually having to do all the work or having any of the responsibility. You've got the responsibility, but they kind of swoop in and say, oh yes, this is what you have to do. And you think, wait a minute, I've done all the work here. I should have the say really in this, because I'm doing all the work. I know what's happening. I'm on the front line. I'm battling like this man in the Nine of Wands. I should have to make this decision. You can't just come in out of nowhere and tell me what to do. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting here. I think if this is all resonating, I don't think you've made this decision. I think it might have to be a joint decision for some reason. I think you might have to make this decision with this person. I don't know why that is. That's what I'm seeing, because for some reason they're there. Don't let anyone rush you. Don't let anyone persuade you before you're ready anyway. And don't let them persuade you anyway. Stand on what you believe in, because I think they actually don't have a final say. You have a say. You have an equal say in this with them. That's what I'm seeing. This woman, again, she's balanced between these two trees. So, you have an equal say in this with them. You're very, very strong, and I don't think you'd ever usually give in to anyone, because you are very strong. But I think because you've been through this battle, and you're a bit tired, you're a bit exhausted, that all might be making you feel a little bit vulnerable. So whatever you do, take your time, wait until you're 100% sure with what you want to do. Definitely don't let them push you into anything if this is resonating with you. The last card you have, you pass the Page of Swords. Yeah, again, you're actually a lot smarter than this person. I'm not just saying that. I'm really not. They're very ego-driven. That's what I'm seeing. They're not actually using their mind. They're using their ego to make this decision. And I think you might have come out of a situation a while ago with this person when you had to negotiate something with them again in the past. And it was something quite big. And that was difficult as well. But I think you came out of that quite well. So for them, this might be sort of like, oh, they won that battle, they won that, but I'll win this one, I'll win this. That might be what they're thinking. But for you, it's not about that. This decision's not about who wins and who loses. It's about doing the best thing and doing the right thing, especially because, you know, I keep on seeing that this probably impacts on someone else as well. I keep on seeing that. So it's not just you that has to cope with the results of this, it's somebody else. So again, definitely don't give in, because I don't think they have the right intentions behind what they're trying to do, you know, if that makes sense. They're very, very ego driven. I keep on seeing that. And, you know, if you're not ego driven, if you're driven by wanting to do the right thing, then you're absolutely in the right. So don't let this person push you around. Again, I'm seeing that once again. So the first card you have, your presence, the Five of Wands. Yes. Look at the turbulence in this card. This is a really, really turbulent reading so far anyway. You know, it kind of feels as if you're trying to get through things, you're trying to battle, you're trying to get things done, and then these kind of things and these people kind of keep on sort of jumping in your way and messing things up for you, and then you kind of 2 steps back again. You are going to get a rest from this, I think, but it is going to be a little bit relentless for you for a while. I can't pretend otherwise. I'd love to tell you, oh yes, you're going to click your fingers and you'll be in paradise, you know, dancing around in the sun, but that's not what I'm seeing. I'm sorry to say that. But whoever this is that's trying to encroach on your decision making, they are in some kind of strange competition with you. I keep on seeing that. They won and I want to win. You know, it's like, it's almost like they're a bit resentful. It's like, they won the last battle, I want to win this one. That's what I keep on seeing. And, you know, their mind's all very confused. It's a bit like this card, because of their resentment. That's making them really confused. If you can, try and create a barrier between you and this person. Don't let their chaos and this kind of resentment put any pressure on you, because you don't need any negative energy around you, especially not now. You're trying to heal and you don't need any more. So yeah, try and limit contact if you can. You don't have to answer the phone when they call. You don't have to answer their text right away. Just wait until you feel ready. Wait until you're composed. Wait until you know exactly what to say, until you feel calm, and then you can contact them. I am seeing a few mind games here as well, and I think they've done this to you before. So again, try and rise above this. Only make this decision when you're ready and, you know, when you're 100% happy with, you know, what you want to do. Not before then. That's what I'm seeing. Right, so the next card you have, your presence, the Hermit. Okay, so yeah, I love this. I'm happy to see this. And yeah, this is what I was seeing, that you will get this time to yourself. You will get this time out of all this kind of chaos and stress. And you need this, not just because of this difficult person, but I think, yeah, you know, you've been coping by yourself and all of that. You need a break from that. But I think you also need a little bit of time to kind of think about your career almost. That's what I'm seeing. I think you might have gone up to a certain point in your career and you're kind of thinking, where do I go from here? That's what I'm seeing. Like, I can see the path in front of me up to a certain point, but what happens after that? That's kind of what I'm getting here. And I think the key to this is to think about your soul purpose, the real soul reason behind why you're doing what you're doing, because that's what the Hermit's all about. He's very, very spiritual. You're doing a lot of career soul searching, I think, at this time. That's what I'm seeing. I think you're questioning where you're going next, you know, where you're going to go to. So I think carving out some time to yourself, which is what this Hermit's doing, I think that might give you that kind of space in your head to really think through this properly. I think you're going to have to get some clarity in your head, space in your head, and then you're going to have to let your intuition come in and kind of work out where you need to go. That's what I'm seeing. There's a narrow path. What I'm seeing is there's a narrow path, and then it opens up to a much wider path. But I think at this time you can't see the wider path because your head's not very clear. You're still kind of grappling with, oh, am I doing the right thing? What do I do next? What do I do then? And you can't plan anything properly in your future. You can't say, okay, let's plan now for 2 years or 5 years, because you have to do your day-to-day stuff and you're kind of a little bit on a treadmill going around and around dealing with that. So you are going to have to take some time out from that treadmill, even if it's a short time, even if it's just a day or 2 days or a weekend or something, just to clear your head and put yourself on a path, not a treadmill that's just going round and round in the same place, but an actual path where you're going somewhere, to a new destination, or to the right destination, that where your soul wants to go. I hope that makes sense. That's what I'm seeing there. Okay, so the last card you have for your presence, the Six of Cups. Okay, this is interesting. I'm seeing family, and yeah, this can be a reunion card as well. It's a really, really beautiful, really innocent card. Now, a lot of the time, people see these two figures in the front as being children, and yeah, I've seen that too before as well. That's what the usual, that's what people usually see when they see these figures. At this time, to me, when I'm looking at this right now, the figure on the right looks a little bit like an older woman, with her hair and the scarf around her head. And, the way someone's giving her flowers, usually people give women gifts of flowers usually. So that's how I'm seeing her. The thing I'm noticing is she's a lot smaller than the person on her left. So if she's a parent, if she's a mother figure or whatever she is, she's smaller, and the child or the other person's bigger. So I think this is about children or a child taking on a more caring role to their parent, whereas once the parent had that role, if that makes sense. So it might be that you visit a parent, because this is about reunions, or a relative maybe, and you find yourself in a caring role. You're taking care of them, maybe not physically, or it might have to be physically, I don't know, it might be, it doesn't have to be. It might just be that they ask you for advice, and maybe their knowledge of the world, especially today's world with technology and everything else, their knowledge might be starting to decrease while yours is increasing. It might be that they might need practical help, but I think they need other help at all as well. Just kind of dealing with things, day-to-day things emotionally, and just needing someone with them. This is a really sweet, really positive card. So I don't think you mind this change in the dynamic between you if this resonating. It's just a change that you're noticing, I think. And, maybe you feel extra protective of them as well, because I think someone might have left this person and, maybe they're coping on their own as well. If you look at the left-hand side of this card, I think you can just see it. Yeah, you can just see there's a man on the left just walking away. So maybe someone walked away from this person. And so you feel protective of them for that reason as well. It might be that. I think you've had a few clashes, I think, in the past, because their outlook's really different to yours. But yeah, you actually have a lot in common. You really do. You're very, very alike. You might even look alike. And what I'm seeing is in the future, because you're helping them more, I think they're going to help you more as well, because I'm seeing you both supporting each other really heavily a lot in the future. You're supporting them and they're supporting you in a different way. So it's really nice to see. It's a sort of a shift in care. That's what I'm seeing there. Okay, so the first card you have in your future is the Hanged Man. Okay, I think this is about this person you're having to kind of make this decision with, and I don't think you've made this decision yet. I don't know if they're an ex, but I think you had a lot to work through with them at one time. I think maybe you're married, or it might be that you had a business together. There's something that was tying you together, and you had to kind of unravel that, if that makes sense. It had to be untied, I should say. And yeah, it was a really difficult process. They're not an easy person to deal with, and they're not easy to deal with now. And I think you are going to take your time on this decision, and that'll probably annoy them, but you're doing the right thing. I keep on seeing that. You're doing the right thing by taking your time. This card can be about sacrificing something for a higher purpose or a better purpose. And again, you're not doing this. You're not making this decision to win or to get one over on them. You're doing this to be fair, and you're doing this for the benefit of someone else as well. That's what I'm seeing very, very clearly. So they don't notice that. They don't see that. They're just thinking with their ego. And again, you're thinking with, okay, what's the best decision? What's the fairest decision and the best one that I have to make for this other person? That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so the other thing I'm seeing in this card is, I think you have more than one person, or you will have in the future. There'll be more than one person who's around you attracted to you. I think you might already know who one of these people are, maybe not the others. Yeah, you might have some choices to make between different people in the future. There's definitely someone you already know. I'm seeing that again, someone who's interested. There are others as well. And again, I'm getting this feeling that you're going to want to wait. You won't be ready to jump into anything for a while. I'm just seeing this. One of these people might be a little bit alternative in some way. And I think you like people like that, or you're attracted to people who are a little bit different in terms of what society thinks. So I think you'll probably lean toward that person, the different person. But yeah, the overall feeling is that I'm getting is that you'll probably lean toward them, but yeah, you're not ready. You're not ready for love yet. You're just not ready. You know, it's like, oh, I think they're interesting. I think they're attractive. Very, very interesting person. But do I want to go back to those trenches right now? Not yet. That's what I'm getting. This is obviously if you're single. Yeah, you still have a lot to work through. And yeah, I think anyone who wanted to come forward to you right now, they'd have a big, big barrier to get through. But you know, that's slowly coming down. And I think probably by the time this person's ready to talk to you, or by the time this person's ready to offer things to you in terms of love, you might be ready by then. It might be good timing. Okay, so the next card you have, you features the King of Pentacles. Okay, look at this. This is really interesting. This king's obviously on top. You know, he's on top of his game. He's on top of everything in his life. He's in charge. It's like he's won. He's won everything. He's obviously won in life. He's the king. So yeah, this is how this person sees you. This person who you're trying to, this person who's trying to kind of force you into this decision. And you know, it's kind of like they're thinking, oh, they have everything. It's not fair. They win everything. I hate that. They're like this king. They actually sound like a spoiled child. So whoever this is, I'm really sorry you have to deal with this spoiled brat. It sounds horrible, but that's how I'm seeing them. They're really spoiled. They're ego-driven. They don't like anyone getting anything a bit better than them, or, you know, they're very like that. That's what I'm seeing. Now, you don't win everything. This is just their perception. You know, you've actually been through a lot of problems. You know, maybe you've had to go through some kind of mediation or even a court case with this person before. I don't know if it was that dramatic, but there was something, again, I keep on seeing this, there was something that had to be sorted out between you, and they think you came out of it looking like this king, winning. So again, if this resonates, again, they're probably quite emotional about this. There are a lot of emotions tied in with this for them, a lot of envy, a lot of anger, a lot of that's not fair. That's what I keep on getting. So you've got to try and do the opposite around this, you know, if you can. Try and be the opposite. Try and take your emotions out of this. It might help if you try to speak to them maybe through email or text or something like that. Some medium where you don't have to speak to them face to face or hear their voice, because I think their voice might be a little bit triggering. You know, you can hear, when you hear someone speak, or if you're face to face, obviously you can hear the different like little patterns in their voice, and you know, they can say something to you, but you can kind of think, well, that's not the real meaning. They're kind of being difficult. They might have different expressions on their face. They might be showing their envy, all of that kind of, and you just don't need any of that. So I think the best thing to do is, if that's what you want to do, you don't have to, it's just an idea, go through email, text, where you're just dealing with words. You're just dealing with words, and what you can do is ask them the facts. Do you know about this and this? What do you want to do? And they'll have to answer you with facts. I want to do this or that. If they start going on about other things, you can just try and you know, steer them back and say, no, let's talk about this. This is why we're here. We need to deal with this and that. You know, just keep on without any emotion, steering them back, just like you would a child, a spoiled child. You know, if you're in the shop with a spoiled child and they say, I want that sweet, I want that chocolate, I want that thing, whatever that is, you say, no, we're not going to get that today. We're here to buy X, Y, Z. Oh, I want it. No, we're not here to buy. If you keep on carrying on like this, we'll have to leave, or you'll be in trouble. that's enough. I don't want to hear any more. So it's like, see, that's how I am with a child. So that's how you've got to kind of deal with this person. You know, keep your emotions out, be very strong, be very clear, very firm, but kind. That's how you've got to kind of be with this person. Sorry about that. Okay, so the last card you have, which is the Two of Cups. Yeah, this is really, really beautiful. Beautiful card. I love this. Absolutely beautiful. Again, I think this person one of the people, the person that's standing out to me, who's interested in you, and they're going to come toward you in the future. This person who's a little bit kind of alternative, a little bit unusual. You already talked to them. You've already talked to them, you've already spoken to them. This is about conversations. So you do have some connection with them already. Again, yes, I keep on seeing this. They're a bit alternative. They're a bit different. I think that intrigues you, or it's going to. You find that very interesting, that kind of a person. They're like that. And I think they see a similar thing in you, or they're going to, or they already do. And I think you intrigue them as well. I actually think you're really, really, really well suited. So if anything's going to develop, and I think it will, it's definitely going to be in time. It's going to take time. Again, you have a lot to get through emotionally after everything you've been through. You're also a very, very independent person, because you've had to be. You've had to cope on your own. You've had to do a lot on your own. And the woman on this card, you know, she's wearing red shoes. I don't know if you can see it. I'll pull it up so you can see. She's wearing red shoes. And red shoes mean independence. If a woman's wearing them, they can mean independent woman. Doesn't have to be, but they mean independence. You know, the passion is where my feet are. I go where I want to go. I don't listen to anyone else. You know, no one's going to tell me where to go. I've got red shoes. That's the kind of thing that is. That's what that means. You're like that anyway. I already knew that about you. You're very, very independent. And I think they're going to love that about you as well. But yeah, again, if you do eventually decide to pursue this potential love connection, there's a lot of positivity around this. Beautiful, beautiful positivity. It looks beautiful to me. Again, you've had conversations with this person and they're a little bit alternative. That might give you a clue as to who this is if you don't know.